Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, about time to do a DVD Blu Ray updates. Yeah, I know it's been quite crazy for me, Richard, to keep up with basic videos for you guys, but hey, I have my own personal life and I have to enjoy that, Richard, instead. But I don't know, I just kind of basically been holding off for basically doing any videos lately or anything to that matter. Just kind of relax and just, just whatever. Just enjoy life and everything else. So, without further ado, we're going to basically start with basic DVD and Blu Ray updates. Now, I had a bunch of basic collection of DVDs and Blu Rays. Well, a few Blu Rays, which is basically one Blu Ray set that I was really looking forward to picking up. And basically, just only one basic Blu Ray casing. But I have a ton of basic DVDs, and we're going to probably do with maybe 3 parts. Hopefully, and yeah, hopefully we get to this and show on the road. So first off, we're going to start off with the basic Blockbuster DVDs and Blu-rays. Now, I know for a fact, of course, Blockbuster is probably one of the biggest basic rental video sources of all time, and probably one of the best basic rental sources of all time. Well, for me, all time for me, but you get the whole point. But Richard One-Off University actually is now closed. So in the purge of 2013, I did not mind to basically pick up a few basic DVDs and Blu-rays. Now, I have only basically one Blu-ray, and that is, of course, originally probably the one things that I wanted to get cash on originally, because I haven't seen this movie lately. So, we're going to start off with with the DVDs in first. So first up, I did not mind to pass these up because I really want these sets to, of course, be my production. I don't have episode 1 or the other basic episodes, and now, of course, the Star Wars DVD sets. Now, these was a little bit pricey. For some reason, I think they were both like $4.95 or $3.95. I couldn't tell the difference. I didn't really look at this receipt to be sure if I was paying a little extra for these sets, but fortunately, the reason why I want to get them is because, well, I want to require race of my Star Wars movies because, well, of course, we're going to have our Star Wars 7 coming in based in theaters sometime based in 2014 or 2015, something around about that year originally. But the reason why I got these originally that they were actually was just only selling these only for about $4 or $3 or even basically that. I can't tell really which was the difference between 4 or 3 originally, but I did not mind passing these up, so I really want to pick them up and actually have in my collection. Now, I know, of course, there is a Blu-ray box set of these sets, but the reason why I got the DVDs is because, of course, it is, let's see if I can base it, it is widescreen DVD sets, and they both are the content base of the same. They both are widescreen. They do have, of course, a buttload of featurettes. So that's episode 2. We open it up. Then we have the lovely, basically, Blockbuster casing in their basically triple form. And we go to episode 3. You can probably see the features, but this is all based on how much the featurettes are basically recorded. I don't know if the Blu-ray set has all the featurettes, but I definitely will keep hanging on to the Blu-ray set. I mean, not the Blu-ray set. DVD sets, just of course for representations. And then we go to, of course, I do like Star Wars Episode 3 because it's the first time we ever see Darth Vader to be, being heard of for the first time. And I mean, I haven't really watched much of the Star Wars movies. I fondly remember watching episode 4, 5, and 6, And that was during the time when VHS originally came about originally. And then when they had episode 1, 2, and 3, I didn't own the original based on DVD or on basis of Blu-ray at all. So this is the first time ever getting them. So yeah, Star Wars stuff, really awesome. Next up, we have, of course, well, I guess you could say it's more kind of like my all-time favorite cartoons. Well, at least based on most favorite, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I saw the subscription for just $1, and I didn't really mind picking it up. Is of course Peanuts Pictures, The Boy Named Charlie Brown feature-length film. Now, I've been really probably hoping to get some Charlie Brown, well, based on some Peanuts DVDs and Blu-rays. I know they actually got the holiday Blu-ray set version based for the entire base of Peanuts shorts. But this is a full-length, basic feature-length film, and it's actually not really bad film version at all. It really starts off with basic Charlie Brown, be the best spelling bee originally based in the class, and now he's basically going to a competition to beat other basic kids who are taking the spelling bee, which is kind of really interesting, and I like that originally because, I mean, we do see Charlie Brown failing so miserably in the shorts, and even basically through the holiday feature-length films, that he always can paint himself as a failure, but he always come and rise up and just basically being the character we all grow and love and everything else. So yeah, there's not much on features. It just gives you the title of the basic movie itself, and if you want to know, it is a Blockbuster set. Like I said, Blockbuster, they were just closed down. They were just getting their DVDs to sale for people who want to basically have in their collection, and I thought, why not? I'll buy some just in case for just on occasion. So of course, that's the Peanuts. I am going to probably require the Peanuts holidays Blu-rays set, along with basically, because I know they actually got the actual basic Peanuts DVD box sets, but they're kind of really hard to find originally, if I could basically find them. I know basically through Bros and Normal, they do have that version basically those sets, but the only thing difference is that their price is just way too overrated. Like I say, Bros and Normal and Blockbuster are probably the most conservative basically retail stores that are so pricey, even then you get a discount for basically for each basic of item you purchase. So maybe I'll probably pick them up, maybe not, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Next up, I really want to continue up basically getting my Pokemon collection up. Well, so far I haven't really catching up with Pokemon lately, especially with the new animated format movies that it's put out originally for basically along with basically with the games. But I did saw the set for about $2, and that is of course Pokemon Heroes, the movie. This is of course the I guess the, how do you pronounce the base of these wonderful other base Pokemon from the Indra Legion. Lapras and Lapras, if I pronounce that name right, these two Pokemon here, the whatever you call them. But I really enjoy it. I think the only thing I didn't like about this anime movie is because, well, for starters, it's a little bit more, kind of less more, because if you look at the other three, I mean, this is of course a Miramax movie production of Pokemon, because when Warner Brothers took the rights of basically Pokemon, they kind of declined for basically doing other more Pokemon movies. So I don't know what was about. I guess it was just showing that they was getting rid of basically just basically not have the rights for it. I mean, I thought the other three Pokemon movies, like Pokemon the first movie, Pokemon 2000 the movie, Pokemon 3, I think they call it, Pokemon 3 the movie. I thought that was really well kind of campy, basically decent Pokemon films to be in theaters, because of course we all know the first movie came in theaters and really become much more, I guess, really getting into the less popularity, because it's with the entire fan base and the basic with the training cards and the games and all the merchandise that comes with basic Pokemon is there. But of course, Miramax, they just took the rights of basically of the other Pokemon movies, and they're still continuing basically having the rights of basically of the Pokemon movies. So yeah. So in terms of basic special features, I guess I didn't really show the special features of the Star Wars, so I'll get to them later. Okay, in terms of basic features, we have a 20-minute never before seen Pokemon short not seen in theaters or on television. Yeah, that's pretty well convinced. On the featurette set, we have, of course, Camp Pikachu short, the location of Scotland and in Venus, animated stages, characters of Pokemon's Heroes, Pokemon Heroes trivia game. You also have Dolby Digital 5 point surround sound, full screen 1:33:1 full screen, and you have, of course, the French subtitle, French language track, which is onto here. If you probably cannot see it, I don't know how far you can see it, but it's down there. So you have the French track, which is pretty interesting. I never really liked the Pikachu shorts. Like I said, to be honest, I never really kind of have any base of the Pokemon shorts. I mean, yeah, they're fine to just basically for just having the Pokemon just spend their own time, which they just basically do whatever they decided for Pokemon they do. But we don't actually see them talk. I mean, I know in the first movie, in the actual first short, Pikachu's movie, Pikachu's Vacation, is probably the most worst, basically, the Pokemon, worst Pikachu short I ever seen. I mean, you have, of course, the Pokedex voice over basically talking, while the Pokemon are just, having fun, having a ball, and all that stuff, which is kind of weird, originally. So, yeah. And, of course, I'll go show you the disc itself. Nothing too fancy. I'm sorry about the light. Nothing too fancy. Just basically the typical artwork that basically comes from based on the from the base of the DVD case. I mean, not bad artwork, but it's not the best movie, but it has some moments. I mean, I do like the moment when I think in the scene where Ash and Pikachu are just basically have this kind of competition race that other Pokemon are surfing and gets just kind of skiing around basically of the Venice location, because they actually did this. They actually basically did the location of sceneries of basically Venice. That actually was pretty nice. Which I like the design and basically how they got Venice right. And that was kind of like nicer to see that versus to see the Pokemon trio basically going to Venice. So that's pretty nice. That's nice. But it just kind of can't be Pokemon movie. You could go wrong with that. Next up, I really been wanting to basically pick this up. Well, I actually saw this originally for some quite time. Of course, I actually had the first season of the most popular show originally that all time that really came on Fox. And lo and behold, I haven't really kept on with the other season sets. And that will, of course, 24 Recalling, if I pronounce that name right. 24. The hit basically Fox show, a drama show, cop drama show of all time, starring basically how can I pronounce his name? Keon Saflane. How can I pronounce it? But he's a very decent, good actor and everything else. One thing about this basically this 2-hour feature-length event movie is they had two basic DVDs discs. One, you have this theatrical basically footage, well, not natural, but theatrical footage. But you also have the director's cut, which is including, well, basically the standard cut version, the standard version. You get the standard cut, which is right here. And you're probably wondering, where's the other disc? Well, when I bought this version through Blockbuster, I was making sure that they didn't get must be included, not having the other disc version, because that is the basic permit. This is of course the second disc, but it actually is a full-on basically feature, full-on basically event, because it does go a little bit more longer, and it's the same for basically the other basically discs as well, but this is a 2-hour basically event versus a movie adaptation. And I really enjoyed this kind of show because, well, the first season I had really gone through original watching the entire basic episodes of the first season. I love to basically pick up the other seasons, but I didn't really get into it basically the show. I didn't really like the character. It looked like how Jack Bauer is basically trying to become this federal agent who is trying to keep his country to basically by terrorists, and like any kind of terrorist comedy or basically decent drama terrorist show that involves basically this takes the base of what actual basically real life terrorists that we have in our real world have basically corporate and everything else. So not really a bad not a bad basically feature length film. It is basically a basic special event, but it is a full-on basic 2-hour film. So it actually is not too bad originally. So we have the front cover. Sorry about my light originally. I don't know if you can probably see it. I'm just trying to get it from it. And on the back, you have a full-on base of features. I don't know if you probably can see it, but full-on basic features and stuff like that. And current basic special features, we have the exclusive first look of 24 season 7. First 17 minutes of basically the premiere episode. You have the standard version featuring over 10 minutes of, not 10 hours, I wish it was 10 hours, 10 minutes of never before seen footage not shown based on television broadcast version, which is basically the first disc. Then you have the making of 24, the Redemption featurette. We have Blood Never Dries, the Child Soldiers in Africa featurette. That's a pretty well decent good featurette version because it really shows, of course, the basically young base of children basically in South Africa deal with basically with weaponized weapons, of course, basically with a lot of basically with violence and destruction of their basic country, and it's very well decent good featurette. It's really just kind of calm basically on that version for me. Then we have, of course, a commentary, exclusive producer and director and executive producers, secondary producers and actors. Of course, Keanu Reeves, I can't pronounce his name right. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Starting with basically with the K and everything else. Then you have, of course, 24 season 6, the 4-minute featurette. It's not the best version of that version, but it does have a nice really of this what happened to Jack Bauer when he got really caught up with basically other things that basically deal with terrorism and everything else. So yeah, not too shabby originally. I do like to pick up the other basic season. I have watched season 7 on when I was rental and I have to say it's far more kind of the same thing that they did in the first season, because I listened to the commentary and they actually really kind of captured the elements of the first season. So it's not too bad Richard for what they did Richard for season 7. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to pick up the other seasons, because I really want to actually watch up the other basic main seasons to follow up basic Jack Bauer. I know they actually heard from Movie 1 said they actually going to continue doing this show again from a lot of occasions. I don't know that that's probably a rumor, but if they can really do it again with the same actor, with the different promotion based off the different part of the actors. I mean, there's a lot of good cast members and a lot of basic guest stars which in this series. So I didn't want to basically wait on. I'm gonna try to see if I could probably pick up the other seasons and hopefully do a 24-hour marathon based off this show. Hopefully, and maybe probably do maybe probably not an exclusive review, but maybe it's just an in-depth review about how the show really commenced. So yeah, 24 Reconduction, awesome. Definitely pick it up. Definitely was probably worth like the same price, like $2 or $3 for basic, and so what you get it. So yeah, that's it. And we'll go with one Blu-ray. Yes, I got one Blu-ray that I wanted to pick up, and I've been hearing from some decent good reviews of this movie. It's probably maybe kind of the most best Richard Cop movie I ever basically seen, and maybe not the best, but probably the most rated, one of the most best Richard videos Richard, because I cannot pronounce his last name, but his name is Jack, and that is of course End of the Watch. Yes, I finally got a chance to watch this. I've been really wanting to see this movie for some time being, and well, for a lot of starters, I think what I like about this movie generally is it's not your typical, LAPD movie cop drama. It's a very kind of very good, serious and very nice, deep and very tone cop drama that most movies that most cop movies involves with basically with having the good cop basically turns to the bad cop and everything else. But in here, it's not always the good cop and bad cop. It's straightforward based on having these, young Pacific guys who are trying to, like, of course, for Jack, his character is the first time basically being the first ever being the LA police officer, and automatically just go from just basically just robbing, well not robbing, to try to arrest, basically convicted criminals that LA basically to deal with. It's like so far basically based on, not only that, he actually captures all the footage of him and his partner, played by Michael Panaplan, if I pronounce this, and like I said, I'm just not good with basic with names. Yeah, Michael, his character, this guy here, actually, tried to capture all the footage that they captured. Even though they actually have this gold, how can I say this weapon? AK-41? Yeah, AK-41, pure gold. And it's so kind of it's kind of interesting that seeing this movie, it really kind of drew me basically to watch it, because for some reason, I don't know, it just kind of drew me to really to see it. So for that being said, it was not a bad movie originally, but at the end, I don't want to give away too much of the ending. The ending is so epic, but the only thing I hate about the ending is that the scene where basically they were about to basically just patrol and everything else, right after that scene when he and his partner are just trying to find the crooks who basically got all this money and basically dealing with these drugs and everything else. And the ending is quite a little bit nitpicks, but I don't want to give it too much away because I don't want to spoil people who haven't seen this movie. But the ending, it's quite a little bit, not epic, but really kind of just, ups and downs, which is something for it. But for some reason, it's a really good movie, and it's a really good, decent, good car drama originally. So of course, so for special features, we have of course deleted scenes, end of the watch, behind the scene featurette, Fade the Badge, In the Streets, Woman on Watch, Watch Your 6 Horn, and a feature commentary by writer and director David Applebaum, if I pronounce it, Applebaum. I can't pronounce his last name originally, but the director and writer who did the base of this movie. So that's not too bad originally. I will say that even though for Jack Rippman and his performance, he's pretty much just a young, comparatively just actor who plays the kind of arrogant, cocky character just based on just for adventure and for excitement, and then all of a sudden he just basically knows for fact everything's gonna probably go wrong in his way. So yeah, if you see him basically in the Salute, wherever that movie is, when he basically is a soldier and trying to deliver basically a terrorist bomb, or so, that's the kind of movie. What is that movie? I think I don't have it. Yeah, I don't think I have it. I think I actually just sold it based by the time. But I really kind of like this movie, and I think it's kind of nice, because they really kind of have these wonderful actors, which are basically playing these specific characters, and having the main character, Jack's main character, is capturing all the footage of basically him and his partner deal with crime. It's funny bits basically on this movie. I remember in the scene where they actually kind of put whipped cream on the police officer to make him, and he's like fall asleep and then trying to basically put whipped cream on his hand and trying to use a feather to basically tickle his nose, and then basically the police officer is like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, it's like really kind of just hilarious. I thought that was funny. I thought that was just a genius. I think it was kind of, there's some funny moments and there's some heart below moments of this movie. So yeah, the end of the watch, definitely worth checking out. Okay, so basically you want to see what this, of course, just a standard basically Blu-ray disc, nothing too fancy. You got of course the logo, everything else in a Blu-ray text color. So yeah, nothing more I can say about it. Definitely worth picking it up. So that is of course all the basic Blockbuster movies and DVDs and Blu-rays movies I picked up. Not too bad originally, I have to say. I was going to try to pick up some more for some reason, but never got around to it. I don't know why. I guess because I'm just so busy with, with other stuff I want to pick up and go from there originally, and then after that.